scene's almost ready for me. This is called Mount Baldy, and the sand dune is slowly moving in and encroaching on not only the parking lot that I'm parked in, but also all of these old trees. They look like just little young saplings or something, but they're actually super old, tall trees, and you can only see the tips of them through what the sand dune has sort of swallowed up. It's like a scene you might see in the Sahara or something, but no, it's just right here in Indiana, so it's really interesting. All I'm waiting on is, you see the light is just at the tip of the sand dune, and I'm waiting for it to come down here into the subject that I'm shooting, which is just this small grove. I picked it because it's the simplest. You can see there's some other little areas here, but the trees are kind of messy. Also, be sure to take a vertical as well, not just for Instagram, but so that I can feature some of the awesome textures. It's one of the main reasons to come here in the winter, is to see the texture of the snow against the sand. In my last video, a day of hiking, bird watching, more hiking, and general lollygagging left me miles from my car with a photogenic sunset fast approaching. I resolved to get back to my camera gear to accomplish the sunset beach photograph I had set out that day to capture. Now I'll take Trail 9 back down to the beach and then take the beach back. This was a 5.5 mile trail, and I started a little past it, and then I got to get down to the beach, so probably 6 or 7-ish more miles of hiking to get back to my car, and I'm trying to do that before the sun goes down so I can get my beach picture. I should stop jibber jabbering. Coming up on an area that where the trail map is called Beach House Blowout, and then we'll go through something called, I think, Furnace Blowout, and then pass in front of a blowout called Big Blowout. But this is just another opportunity to, if you're ever in the area and you want to photograph some of the trees engulfed in the sand dunes, I think this one maybe even a little better than the one I was at this morning, because there's a little better access. Experience coming out of the woods to this, and to be honest, this is sort of the kind of thing I was hoping to take shots of, but all my camera equipment is on the other side of the park. I'll give it some thought. I just got back to the beach I started from, and now I kind of have to make a decision because there's no snow now on any of the beaches. So maybe it would have been smarter if I just started out the morning shooting the beach. But I did get some photos and some explorations that I'm happy with, including some snow photos. But now I kind of need to decide because it's time to start setting up to shoot something. So I don't know if I'll stay with the beach or go somewhere where there's still snow. First, I'm gonna get some water because I'm real thirsty and a little hungry too. When I got back to the car, I was mulling it over. I really thought that I was gonna finish this day taking a snowy beach picture, which was kind of an interesting opportunity. I think I was kind of hung up on that, but I ended up deciding, you know, I spent all day trekking and exploring through this place, experiencing it and looking for the best, you know, the thing that most spoke to me, most represented my experience here. So I thought, am I really going to drive all the way back to the other side of the park and carry all this camera equipment 2 miles back into the trail that I was just so happy to get off of? And well, here I am. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And maybe the worst part is that there is no light here whatsoever, no color in the sky. You know, it's kind of funny, when I was talking to that other photographer that I mentioned earlier, the large format film photographer at the camera store, I asked him what he liked to shoot at the dunes, and he said he just likes to walk up the trail and go to the top of the dune, and where it opens up at the top, and shoot it where you can see the top of the dune down to the lake. And I thought, that just sounds so obvious and boring and basic. And yet here I am going for it. So it really is a special place, and I look forward to getting you up there and showing you the view from up top. Regardless of whether we got amazing photographic conditions, it's really going to be a nice way to wind down the evening. Well, I got to the top, and what a view I've got. I've got just about an hour till sunset, and I will figure out how I want to shoot this scene. The way I prefer to shoot it is this way. This captures most of the landscape, and that means that within about half an hour, I'll see if there's going to be color in this part of the sky. And then I'll shoot it this way regardless, because I'll still have time afterwards to descend down this trail and shoot it from the bottom, pointing this way to catch the color in this part of the sky when it has color. Then I'll start by choosing the foreground, because the background is going to be very similar regardless of where I shoot it from. So I'll position my camera to capture probably the shape of the divide between the snow and the bare sand, and the photograph will basically be formed around that shape. Clouds just opened up and let all this light on the scene. I'm going to set up really fast and catch something. It's very exciting. But it's just hitting the very peaks of the dune. Light just makes all the difference. I'm very excited to get this. If you can't tell, I'm excited. Battling the wind will be a problem in terms of shutter speed and all the foliage here in the foreground. So I'll figure it out, and then if there's time, I'll travel a little further down this trail on the ridge and shoot this scene from the opposite direction where the sun is setting. If I get a shot facing the sun, that's just extra Christmas present. better spot because it's off the trail, so I'm not blocking the trail. So there's a little slightly more shelter here, so I'm getting about half as much wind. It's not helping me photographically because all my grasses are still blowing around, but it's still looking beautiful. And I don't feel like this camera's moving over, so good plus. By now the tripod's pretty pointless. It is so windy. My camera just blew over for the second time. Not this camera, the video camera. But the scene's still wonderful. I'm just going to keep walking around shooting it handheld at really fast shutter speeds to keep the grasses and things still. The tripod would be helpful if I were shooting longer exposures to get blurry grasses, if that's what I wanted. Or if I wanted to shoot a fast exposure and then a longer, cleaner exposure, and then just sort of Photoshop in the sharp things on top of the blurry things. But I'm just after a more simple shooting experience today. So having a fantastic time shooting out here. It doesn't help this beautiful, the weather's phenomenal, and the light is just perfect. That's a wrap. It's well after sunset now, and I think I'd be an idiot not to be happy with the experience I had here. But I am an idiot, so sometimes I have to wonder. I'm gonna head back out now before it gets dark, strap on the headlight, get back to the woods, and call it a trip. Thank you so much for tagging along for my little exploration of America's second newest national park, Indiana Dunes National Park. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Hey, come back for my next video. I'll be at Jasper Pulaski Fish and Wildlife Area, having a close encounter with some really beautiful migratory wildlife there. So I share a lot of wildlife photos, but I've never really made a dedicated video to the subject. So if you'd like to watch that and get a few special tips on wildlife photography, be sure to subscribe so you'll get the notification as soon as that video comes out. Otherwise, you'll miss it. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.